Okay, kids, it's Mr. AG here. It's September 29th, Tuesday, and we're going to talk about math today. Your assignment today involves your green book, and I would also like for you to have your black and white math notebook. Now, I'm going to have you follow along with me for two problems because I only assigned two problems in the homework, and I'm going to do the problems in the problem set that are as close to the problems that you're going to be doing as possible. So please pause the video and get your green book and your black and white notebook because you're going to need both of those to efficiently work through these problems. Okay, we're going to be working in the lesson 20 problem set, and just looking at lesson 20, the whole point of lesson 20 is to solve two-step word problems involving multiplication and division and assess the reasonableness of answers. A lot of words. This is tricky, so be patient with yourself. It's really about being reasonable, which means like your answer should make sense. If you get a wacky number, then chances are you did something wrong. And this part here, the two-step word problems, means that there's going to be two missing parts in each problem. Normally they give you one missing part, but there are going to be two missing parts, and they're going to give you enough information to figure out what is one of the missing parts, and then how do I use that missing part to find the last missing part. It's really challenging stuff. So be patient with yourself. If you get frustrated, take a breather, take your mind off of it. Maybe ask for a tip from an adult. But these are challenging problems. So we are in the last two lessons of this unit, and at the end of every unit, things get pretty challenging. So strap on your math seatbelts and get ready because this is going to be tough stuff. Okay, so one thing that I would like you to do is make sure you have the count by for threes and fours written into your white notebook. You can turn, or your black and white notebook. If you turn to the next page, make sure, if you don't already have this done, get your threes list in there and get your fours list in there. You can pause the video right now and get this count by in there because it will help you to have the multiples of 3 and the multiples of 4 in front of you for some of these problems. Okay, back to the lesson 20 problem set. We are going to be looking at problem number 2, and you'll notice that I already loaded the count bys into the problem set because it's going to involve this. I see this number 28, and I recognize it on my count bys. It's not on the threes, it is on the fours, okay? So I'm going to read this problem. You can use the text-to-speech feature to read any problem on the homework, but I'm going to read this problem. 7 children share 28 silly bands equally, okay? So I see the word 7, and I see the number 28, and they share silly bands. I don't really know what that is, but it's a thing. It's items. It's something that they're sharing equally, which means we're multiplying or dividing, possibly both. Now we've got two questions here. So part A is how many silly bands does each child get? Okay, so there are 7 groups and 28 things. So we are going to be doing the problem 28 divided by 7, which is pretty tricky. If you're 8 years old and your teacher is asking you to do 28 divided by 7, that's pretty tricky stuff here. What they've given you to support you is a tape diagram. So this should be familiar. We've got a tape diagram with 28 total things, and they've got 7 groups here. A group 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to go through and I'm just going to distribute using my line feature here. I'm going to distribute 28 silly bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'm going to start over. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And it's a good thing I end at the last one and I'm not going to start back over because I've got equal sharing. It says share equally. So each child is going to get 4. So this box stands for one child. And if I put a text box in there, I can write 4 bands in each. Or I could describe this box as one child equals 4 bands. That'll give you a lot of space here. So I can also check myself using the count by. So I'm looking at my 4s, and if I go to the 7th multiple, I should get to 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my 7th multiple is 28. So 28 divided by 7 is 4. Okay, so each child gets 4 bands. Now it asks how many silly bands do 3 children get? Okay, so now I've got 4 times 3. So if each child is a group, I'll put the groups first. 3 groups of or times 4 bands equals, and now I can look at my 3s or my 4s. If I do my 3s, I go to the 4th multiple. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I do my 4s, I go to the 3rd multiple. 1, 2, 3. Both of them are 12. So 3 times 4 is 12. Each child gets 12 silly bands. I'll just put 12 silly bands each. That's pretty tricky stuff. On your homework, you'll find that the problems are very challenging. I would recommend having your count bys handy so that you can try to make sense of it, that you're using the models that they give you, because you're going to need a little support as you work through these problems. I'm going to skip down to problem number 5, so you can turn to the next page in your book and follow along. Problem number 5, it tells me 27 pears are packed in bags of 3. Okay, so again, we've got a word, 27. If I want to just remind myself, I can mark up the text there. That's 27 pears. So items, the items are pears, are packed in bags of 3. Bags of 3 would be the group size, not the number of groups. The size of each group is 3. Okay, so I've got a total number of items and the size of the group. I do not know the number of groups, but it does tell me 5 bags of pears are sold. It never tells me how many total bags I've got. So that's a missing step. I've got to figure out how many total bags are there first. Before I can figure out how many bags of pears are left, I have to figure out how many bags of pears I started with. So in division, they give you the total. I am dividing by the group size to find the number of groups. So I'm going to take this 27 and I'm going to divide it by 3. And I've got my count by up here written on the paper. If I've got 27 divided by 3, I can see 27 is on my 3's list. Which multiple is it? Okay, well, I can count up 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. I can count the multiples. This is the 1, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th multiple. The 9th multiple is 27. So I can quickly just figure out that we started with 9 bags. So 9 bags to start, right? Next, so I'm starting with 9 bags of pears. 5 bags were sold. So I go with, what did I start with? I started with 9 bags to start with. I'm subtracting the ones that were sold, subtracting 5 to figure out how many bags of pears are left. There are 9 minus 5 gives me 4 pears left. Now, I could draw pictures that go with this, but the pictures might take up a lot of space if you're using your pencil. It would be up to you how you decide to draw pictures of this. You could draw a story picture. You could do a distribution of 27 pairs and do a count by of 3s until you get to 27. You'll end up with 9 groups. But I think having these count by lists with you are really going to support you in the work that you're doing today. So onto your assignment, you've got, if you go into the Math Schoology page, or the Schoology page, look in the week 7 assignments in the math folder, you'll see Tuesday Math Lesson 20 homework. You're going to need to open it up with the Kami app. And when you open it up with the Kami app, you should see, I already marked up this page a little bit to try to support you a little bit. I only want you doing problems 2 and 5. Those are the only assigned problems. If you would like to do the other problems to get extra practice and to really challenge yourself, by all means, feel free to do it. I just don't want you to be stressed. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I don't want you to feel frustrated. I want you to just relax, get a little bit of math work in. Think about, you know, out there, some math students are very high level in our class, and maybe this assignment will help you recognize that this is pretty challenging stuff. So good luck to you if you decide to go beyond the assigned problems. I'm assigning problem 2 and problem 5. So you're looking at this problem here. 30 students are eating lunch at 5 tables. Each table has the same number of students, and there are 2 parts. And I just put a little bit of extra writing here to help you and support you. I would recommend having your count by right next to you as you're using this, and write your division or multiplication equations in the space using the text boxes. Don't forget, you can have anything read to you with the text-to-speech option or the tool here when you click on the text on the paper or on the electronic paper. So here's problem 2, and then down at the bottom is problem 5. So I put some notes for you here to kind of help you in thinking through this. So the idea is you use the notes that I gave you, you read through the problem, you try to use all the tools that we've been taught to figure out what would be a good picture for this if you want to draw a picture, what would make sense in reading this problem. The store has 28 notebooks in packs of 4. 3 packs of notebooks are sold. Well, they never gave you the total number of notebooks, so you got to figure out how many they did give you the total number of notebooks. They didn't give you the packs of notebooks. You have to figure out how many packs there are to start with. Before you can answer this question, how many packs of notebooks are left? So you got to figure out how many you're starting with first, and then plug that number into the equation where you're subtracting 3. It's tricky. This is tricky stuff, okay? So I'm wishing you good luck and hoping that you're well prepared. Please do not stress. Stress is our enemy. Don't spend all day on this. Just do the best that you can. Ask for help if you need help, but know that you've only got 2 problems assigned to you. If these 2 problems are a breeze for you, by all means, if you want more challenges, go back and do numbers 1, 3, and 4 when you before you submit it. Good luck, do your best, and I believe in you. Eventually we will get to the point where all of us can do problems like this, but we are still at the beginning of the year, and I haven't had a chance to really work individually with any of you on the math stuff. So I believe in you, and I can't say it enough. Don't stress. You're doing great. Keep up the hard work. If you're trying your best, that's the main thing that we're looking for.